You need confidence for this sport, let me tell you. You need to be strong and like mature. You can't get scared. You have to go for things, and that maturity level really. You need the maturity level in order to go for skills. And if you're hard on yourself, then it makes the sport that much harder. You need to believe in yourself.
I started teaching in 8th grade when I was in 8th grade. So I'm 39 now. So I taught maybe 4 or 5 hours a week, 8th grade. And I always looked tall. I'm 6'4", I was 6'2" when I was pretty young. So I started teaching early. High school, I taught every day, 3:30 to 5:30. Then I went to the Roosevelt Park gym, and I worked out from 5:30 to 8:30, and Saturday I taught 9 to 12, however many hours that is. And then when I graduated in 1999, I started coaching and teaching full-time.
Solid foundation for a gymnastic coach is really important. Without DJ, I really don't think I would have made it this far, because not only does he help you with your gymnastics, but he also cares about your life outside of gymnastics, making sure that you're staying out of trouble, you have a good family at home, like ready to support you. Every time that something would happen outside of gymnastics that would affect my gymnastics, he would make sure to confront me about it and make sure I was okay. He also never gives up on you.
There are times when I do something and the day it's just like not going right and you just want to stop, but those are the days where you have to like keep pushing, and then once you get past that, you feel really good about making that breakthrough. Well, one, you have to take care of your body, because that's, I guess, the most important, because if once that breaks down, then basically you're done. So take care of your body. And two, you can't let it get to your head too much. You just have to stay positive, and when things aren't working, just take a step back and look at everything and see how far you've come, and then go back after it.
I actually think gymnastics is more mental and physical, because you have to think about every correction, and there's so much physics involved, and that you can, like, your muscle memory takes care of the physical part, but the mental part is definitely the hardest part. Yeah, it is easier said than done, because you have to think about the angle that you turn your hands so that you can get a good push, so that your feet can go under you. Like, there's so much other things involved in just that one correction, and being like mentally tough, like especially on balance beam or things that you're scared of. Like, it's things that you can't control, and being able to push through the uncontrollable things, I think, is being mentally tough.
So if you're, the challenge is when to push and when to back off. And in order to produce high-level athletics, you have to understand that balance, especially with older girls. So I consider myself pretty good at coaching younger girls and pretty good at coaching older girls, because when they're young, a lot of coaches are good at coaching younger girls. The middle school, late middle school years are harder because the girls are less communication with how they actually feel on things. So therefore, you have trouble addressing individual needs. So you're guessing in a way at different times or using your experience. But when they get into high school, girls are very, they know exactly what they want out of the sport. They know what they want out of their own gymnastics. They know what their needs are. They communicate them to you. And then all you have to do is just balance pulling the right strings to make sure that they're getting enough done, and also sometimes getting out of their own way so that they don't get too frustrated or put themselves in a place where they could get hurt physically. And of course, that also means sometimes you got to make tough choices. Sometimes you got to tell an athlete to stop and they don't want to stop. Sometimes you got to tell an athlete to do more when they want to stop. But hopefully you can overcome those through, motivational techniques and interpersonal relationships. Well, the most important thing is you have to start with a gymnast that loves gymnastics. And if a gymnast purely loves gymnastics, then you can go a very long way with them in the journey, whether it's high-level gymnastics or high-quality gymnastics, or just doing it for an extended career. But as long as the gymnast has love for it, you can go pretty far with the gymnast, as long as there's love first, I would say.
I think the small aspects about gymnastics are the most important, because those little skills, the technique, the form, the mentality, it's all the foundation of your sport. So if you can't really focus too much on those, then it's probably going to be a rocky gymnastics career because you really need to, at the end of the day, think about, am I doing this technique perfectly right or trying to do it perfectly right so I don't get injured, so I can get the skills, so I can move on, because everything's very progressive in this sport. If you can do one thing, you can start to learn another thing, and it's like a cycle. You just learn things off of skills. So I think that you really need to focus on your foundation of gymnastics, like those micro things, small aspects of the sport, and you can only go up from there and progress with that mentality.
It's all about stamina. Yeah, it's taught me how to be mentally tough, so that relates to school. And you get back a bad grade or something and you're writing a paper and you can't get through it, you just have to go back, work hard to it, and then the next time you take that test, you realize what you have to do. And I feel like that's come from gymnastics, because when you're doing a skill and you can't do it, and then it makes you work harder so that the next time it happens in a better outcome.
All the little things add up. If you drop your shoulder the slightest bit, you're out. If you bend your legs in a certain skill, you're gonna fall. Anything can happen. Gymnastics is the most technical sport there is, and if you do one thing wrong, that could blow up the whole thing. A support system, definitely you need that. My teammates. I love my teammates and I love my coach. If I didn't have them, it'd make the sport that much harder. The whole entire time I repeat in my head, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Because I can.